Hello everyone, Nick here, and I'm making this video because I'm going to be talking about the recent removal of the dislike counter. Okay, here's the thing. It's not the button, it's the counter, okay? You can still dislike videos, it's just they're removing the count on the videos. Now, there's a lot of things that I think are very interesting that are covered in the video, and I will flip over to the screen right now. I'm not going to play the video, you can watch it for yourself, but I'll summarize it very briefly. He basically claims that YouTube has done research and people are using and manipulating the dislike button for the use of bullying and harassment. And speaking from a personal perspective, have people used the dislike button as a form of bullying and harassment? Absolutely. I'm not even going to disagree with that. Look, unfortunately, bullying and harassment is going to be around, it's never going to go away. I know people want to deal with a problem, it's always going to be a problem, and everyone is trying to find a way or solution to deal with it better. In my situation, the only thing I can really do is just learn to, suck it up and just grow thick skin. Otherwise I might be like someone else on the other end who decided to just, end themselves. Like a certain fan base that's probably might be even watching this video now, because if I start seeing dislikes, I know who they are. So, what is my point is, if you're disliking a video, this is what I say. If those people or anybody watching, if you dislike a video, dislike it because you genuinely don't like the video, not because you dislike the content creator, okay? If the video is bad, if the video is genuinely bad, if you genuinely think it is bad, not because of the content creator is bad, then dislike the video. Dislike the video if the video is bad. Do not dislike it to use it as a form of an attack. Do not use it as a form of bullying or harassment or to humiliate someone. It's to notify the user and be like, hey, there are things in this video or whatever you're doing in this video is not well performed or not well done. That's why. And hell, if people wanted to say, hey, Nick, I didn't like the video, I'm leaving this dislike because fine, But to dislike and then leave a comment like, you suck, yeah, that's the wrong way to go about it. Now, to go a little bit further into this, this guy, so this guy is, smiling with this smug kind of look on his face, but his delivery is just terrible. Oh, what does he say? I'm torn on things. Yeah, I get what review text says. There's definitely a good and bad thing about this, right? See, even I dislike the video because I'm letting them know I'm not disliking it as a form of harassment or bullying. I'm disliking because I just don't like how they're going about it. Then they said, when YouTube's mission is to give everyone a voice, so to combat, we're literally going to remove half of everyone's voices by hiding the dislike count. No need to thank us. Yeah, I agree. So there are some interesting things to cover that he does say in the video. Apparently, the dislike counter is controlled by the content creator. The content creator can control the dislikes, right? That's just the bottom line. So, he talks about their research and everything they've done. And what's interesting is, he essentially ends up saying, oh, well, we're not removing the dislike counter because YouTube Rewind got a horrible dislike counter. So just to show you the YouTube Rewind dislike, let's see if they even removed that. So, yeah, 19 million. So yeah, sure, they're not removing the dislike button for that. But yeah, you kind of get the idea. And even 19's was not any better. So if we go to 19, yeah, still a fairly jarring level of we have bad taste. You have bad taste. Oh, they canceled 2021 Rewind too? They never tried. They'll probably give up trying. Yeah, they tried too much. They barely tried. They never tried. They'll probably give up trying. I definitely think that, when someone gives you criticism, when someone generally tells you, hey, this rewind or whatever you're making, this is not very good, we don't like this. This doesn't give the person making the content, tell them to stop making content. That's not the point of giving someone a dislike. It's not to like whittle their ego into not doing anything anymore. And I kind of get the opinion that that YouTube, I was about to say Nintendo, because I'm thinking about how they have dislikes on their videos. So, YouTube, like you're talking about how they just are so vehemently trying to hide people's stuff, and it's like, look, I'm sorry, but unfortunately speaking, people did not like that YouTube rewind, and they let you know about it. So, but that doesn't mean stop making the rewind. That just means you need to listen to what people have to say. Like this rewind is too corporate. This rewind is too this way. You need to take what you're being told and try to fix it. That's the point. It's like if I go into a restaurant and I give it a low score, and the reason if I just say the food sucks, right? Like that's just the most blandest, most basic negative comment anyone can give. The food sucks. That's not criticism. That in my opinion would be on the line of like harassment and bullying. But if you say 1 star and you're like, the pizza dough was too stiff, the sauce was very watery, and the cheese was too runny. Like those are things that like, oh, okay, they're letting me know what I need to work on. Okay, this dough, I need to make it more like palatable. I need to make the sauce a little bit more thicker. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm giving you criticism, like, and I'm giving you legit ways to improve something, that's the thing. If people wanted to come to my video and be like, hey, Nick, you need to improve your audio by investing in some equipment. Here's some equipment you can get. That's great. Like, give me that kind of criticism. I want to hear that. You're like, and even like this camera, this webcam I'm recording on, I know it's like really like what's it called? Like it's really hazy. It's almost like CRT-ish looking, which, if people wanted to say, hey, Nick, your camera quality is not very good, so I'm leaving you a dislike because of that. Granted, that might be a bit nitpicky, but at least I could give you a pass on that. At least you're giving me something to go with, rather than saying, this video quality sucks. It's like, okay, it's a step in the right direction, but you're not giving me enough to know what to do. So, yeah, YouTube definitely fails, in my opinion, when it comes to understanding criticism and such. Now, do I think that it's completely YouTube's fault? No. I think that there is some issues with the user base. I mean, unfortunately, there are groups that do use the dislike button to harass or bully those content creators. And they do. They definitely do that. You aren't allowed to dislike our corporate backers. Yeah, there's a lot of argument over that. Defended itself on the video. Some of these comments are pretty funny. Half of YouTube's mission is to give a voice. YouTube Rewind, most disliked video ever. YouTube, let's remove dislike numbers. Yeah, I have to agree. I just think it's funny that he ends up saying at the end of the video, I can't remember where it is, but he ends up saying, like, let me just play this part. I don't want to play the whole video, but he does say it like, no, we're not removing the dislike counter because of the rewind.
To get lots of dislikes. Now, this again is about protecting all creators
Okay, wait. Let me find it.
who have learned the hard way what it feels like to get lots of dislikes. Now, this again is about protecting
Okay, no, that's not where it is. Where is it? He says it.
isn't visible to the public. And one more common question, is this because YouTube Rewind got lots of dislikes? No.
Yeah, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that, son. Yes, that is a big reason. Like you can lie, you can smile your butt off and say no, but we all know that that is definitely one of the things that they looked at. I mean, if you're gonna tell me that they're not removing the dislike button because of the rewind, I'm gonna just be laughing in their face, right? Like, wouldn't you be laughing? Because ultimately, they are removing the dislike button, and part of it probably does have to do with the rewind. Because if YouTube saw how much people dislike the rewind, and they're not reading the criticism, they're just seeing the dislikes, you know, that's really showing that YouTube can't take criticism, and they're too sensitive, and they can't handle it. And let's be upfront here. Like, do I like getting dislikes on my videos? No. And have I even been the target of dislike attacks? Yeah, I have. And anybody knows that watches my channel, they know about a certain incident that happened years ago in 2017 where someone decided to just bully and harass me online and use it as this like booing point to just like slap me in the face. And he might have thought that was funny, but like even though he thought that was funny, he basically just encouraged people to come onto my videos and just slap me with dislikes. And you know, it was horrible, and I'm not gonna hold back in saying, I mean, my stomach was in pain when I saw some of the comments, and it was just like, it affected me personally. But at the same time, you know, there comes a point where it's like, okay, Nick, you're an adult. You have to grow thicker skin. It's like, you're going to walk down the street, there's going to be some crazy person being like, and they're going to scream in your face, and you're just going to be like, okay. Like, it's one thing to get maybe, like, if I got bashed, then I could understand, like, someone probably being like, oh, God, you physically got hurt. But it's like, you know, it's like that phrase, like, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words may never hurt you. And that's ultimately it. Like, that phrase is very true. It's like, if you let words hurt you, they can. Although, you know, depending on who you say or how you use the words, depending on the situation, could be used against you. And, you know, for example, and I'll give you a perfect example of this. When I used to work a hospital job, and this one man screamed in my face when I was trying to get his order because I was working in the nutrition department. I was in the kitchen, and this man screamed in my face because he didn't want to give me his diet order. Now, instead of him, like, so what you don't understand is you don't screw with the people that give you your food, because there are many reasons for this, and I won't get into. But, you know, I was just pissed off at this patient. So I just go to the nurse and I play the Taylor Swift victim card, and I just cry in front of her. And I'm just like, that man was so mean to me. He was so horrible. And so she goes up to the patient and she's like, that young man was trying to take your food order and you screamed in his face. And he's like screaming back at her. And I'm like back in the corner. And then she's just like, well, sir, if you can't get, if you can't act respectfully to anybody, then we're gonna have to give you a psyche vow. And I'm like, so it was just so good because it just shows, like, again, you know, even if you're in a bad mood where you don't like, you know, like where you are, it's like if you treat others disrespectfully, it's not gonna look good for you. And it's like, look, even if you're going through shit, even if you're going through a bad day, you kind of just have to like understand, like, if you start taking out other people, they're gonna take it out back on you. So I guess what is my main moral is that yeah, removing dislikes is not the way to go about with YouTube criticism or harassment. It's not gonna work, in my opinion. I think in some ways it might kind of, what's the word, it might backpedal on them a bit. But you know, people. The problem is, like, YouTube has too much power, right? Like they have too much. So like, but we don't have anywhere else to go. They're like the only game in town. Unless you're going to invest in another platform where, you know, your words can't be restricted. You know, but you know, you're talking about that fine line of free speech. You know, it's like someone's always going to get offended no matter what you say, right? Like, so all you can do is just try to use the best words that you can, and just like, if someone gets upset, be like, hey, this is where I stand. I'm sorry you don't agree with it. That's just my opinion. And you leave it as that. You don't try to like, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm done talking. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about the removal of the dislike. So like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.